Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Let me make sure my deck isn't sticking. Okay. Good afternoon and welcome to the CCSQ Data and Analytics Spring 2025 Data Camp. My name is Julie Amdy and I'll be facilitating our event over the next 2 days. The Spring Data Camp is a 2-day event that will be filled with multiple sessions designed to educate those in our community and others interested in data and analytics. I'm going to kick things off first with a few administrative announcements and then we'll go over our agenda for the day. So today we're going to be having sessions. Hang on one second, I'm just getting a Zoom notification. Okay. We're going to be having sessions that will be exploring things like Databricks, machine learning, SAS to Pi, CDR, and then an overview of the CCSQ data and analytics objectives and vision. And then just a note that there is a portal page for an entire event where you can get those session times and then further descriptions for each of our sessions and what the breakdown of each of those on the portal page. And then Laura's going to be dropping that in the chat as well. Each of our sessions will be recorded, and then the recording, the slide deck, and then any applicable other materials such as notebooks will be made available after the event. Please do just give us time to turn those materials around so we have time to make them 508 accessible for all. There is a designated Q&A portion after every session as long as time allows. We do ask that you put your questions in the Zoom chat. That way we have a record of them all, and in the event that we don't have time or we need further clarification on one of the questions, we have a record of that. And then also, some of our team members may be answering questions in the chat throughout sessions, and then we may be revisiting those at the end. And then any that we may not have time to get to or need further clarification will be made available with all of our Q&A and then published to that CCSQ DNA portal. Please remember to remain on mute to minimize interruptions during our presentations. And then as long as time permits, there will be a short break between each of our sessions, between 5 and 10 minutes depending. And that way we have time to stretch our legs and go grab some extra water or coffee. And then this is an open house format, so you can use that same one Zoom link to access any of our sessions. That way, depending on your meeting schedule, you can pop in and out as needed. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and switch over to our agenda for the next couple of days. So for today's agenda, we're going to be kicking things off with the CCSQ Data and Analytics Leadership Introduction and What's Ahead. Then we're going to be moving for session 2 to Introduction to the CCSQ Centralized Data Repository. Session 3 today is going to be Best Practices in Databricks. Session 4 is going to be Working with Beneficiary in the Data Cloud. And then session 5 is going to be SAS to Python conversion. Learn how to use the SAS to Py to convert SAS code. Then moving into tomorrow, we're going to be kicking things off with session 6 tomorrow at 1 p.m. with how to create custom logs in Databricks. Session 7 is going to be Fast CASA and Chatbot Overview. Session 8 tomorrow is Introduction to Practical Machine Learning. And then our last session of Data Camp is going to be CCSQ QuickSight Essentials. And then we're going to be rounding things out with some Spring Data Camp closing remarks. And that'll be led by Katie Holmes. So as soon as things wrap, it says 4:50, but honestly, that'll just be as soon as that session 9 is wrapping, Katie will be going ahead and wrapping things up for us and closing out our Data Camp. So with that, I'm going to be passing things over to Katie now to kick things off, and welcome everyone.
Thank you so much. I am very happy to be here. I think this is my first data camp kicking things off, although I participated in several over the years. So good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Spring 2025 Data Camp. For those of you that don't know me, my name's Katie Holmes. I'm the Deputy Division Director of the Division of Quality Systems, Governance, Engineering, and Development, DQSGED. I know that that's a mouthful. Thank you for making time to be here. The Data Camp is really our opportunity to come together as innovators across CMS and CCSQ to align on where we're going, what we're doing, and how we're going to get there. This has always been a great event. We've always had wonderful feedback on this event, and I'm very happy to be a part of it. So I think I can dive into some of the slides when I go to the next slide. All right. So I want to lay out kind of a vision for our work, and I know we have CMS's vision and CMS's mission here. Several, I'm sure you've seen this. This is usually shared in every meeting to just lay the groundwork for how we operate. But really, our team exists to better health outcomes through better data. So providing the right data to the right people at the right time in a secure, modern, and scalable environment, that's really what we're aiming to do. Our vision isn't just about tools or platforms, it's about building a connected, efficient, and transparent system that meets the needs of today's users while also being ready for whatever tomorrow brings. And as we've seen over the past several months, tomorrow can bring anything, and we've been ready for those challenges as they've been coming up to us. So, whether you're a data analyst, a program lead, a contractor, you are really a vital part of realizing our vision, and I'm happy to be a part of this team. So for CMS and CCSQ, we're tied very closely to the broader goals of CMS. At the heart of everything that we do is quality. We are focused on delivering high quality healthcare and supporting high quality data. That means that we have to reduce burden, increase insight, and act responsibly with being a good steward of our data. That's what we're building towards. That's what we have been building towards. And that's the environment that you'll be working in. We can go to the next slide for priorities. All right, these are our data and analytics priorities. I won't read this slide to you. I'm sure you can all do that, but we're going to get a little more concrete into what we're doing here. So one of our biggest undertakings, and I'll talk about this on the next slide, is the decommissioning of SAS. We have alternatives that I've been rolling out for Databricks and QuickSight. We're very focused on data governance. That's going to be something that we're continuing to focus on as we move forward, providing training, making sure that we reduce data downloads, increase in scalability. These are all just kind of the norm for us. So I think we're going to continue to focus on this. We can go to the next slide. I'll dive into SAS. That's a bit of big undertaking. All right, SAS migration. Anyone that has been part of a SAS migration knows that this has been a very big undertaking for ISG. This isn't something that just ISG has been doing or CCSQ. This is an undertaking for all of CMS. We are all moving away from SAS, and ISG is going to decommission SAS in December of 2025. We're not just turning off this tool, we're really trying to rethink how we manage data and how we work. Some of the statistics you'll see here on the screen um, are really impressive. So we have 53% decrease over the last year. This data is as of last month, April. Unique users have dropped from 488 to 244. That's a 54% decrease. 3,400 SaaS-related roles are down to 550 SaaS-related roles, so an 84% drop. That is a huge, huge transformation in a year. And I know most of this has been done in less than a year. The alternatives we're rolling out, like I mentioned on the other slide, Databricks and QuickSight are modern, flexible, cost-efficient, scalable, and they are going to better serve our mission. So I'm going to pause here and really thank everyone who has been a part of this effort, whether you have been actively migrating, whether you've been supporting your teams, or you've just had to adapt to new ways of working, you've really, really affected our foundation and what comes next. And I appreciate the support in being able to move away from SAS and get off of it by December of 2025. So thank you very much. We can move to the next slide. All right, so let's talk about a little bit of the road ahead before I pass it over to Miriam. We're going to focus on several priorities. Reducing data duplication will become more and more of a thing. We're expanding the data CCSQ users have access to. We want to make sure that we are being mindful of what data is being duplicated within our environment. We're also going to connect into other environments across CMS to make sure that we're not duplicating anything that already exists elsewhere, see if there's any way that we can streamline efforts across CMS. We're going to maintain data within the CMS Federal Information Security Management Act, the FISMA boundary. That's something that we're always working towards, but we'll continue to work towards that. We're going to build and enhance the analytics toolset, Databricks portal, the data catalog. If you don't know what those things are, you'll learn more about it. And I highly suggest, especially the portal, I highly suggest checking that out if you haven't already. We're also going to focus on eliminating silos and the need to download data to perform analysis. So we're connecting systems, we're breaking down barriers between data sets. We want to avoid any type of downloading of data for security concerns. It's simply not best practice for us. So if you are still doing that and you're on this call, please reach out to us because we'd like to offer some solutions to get you into our environment. We want to stop custom extracts and downloads. So we want the analysis to happen in place. We don't want anyone having to use Excel or local files or some custom extracts. And then we want to continue to improve on the environment stability and availability. This is something that we work on constantly. We'll continue to work on that. It's improved greatly just in the time that I've been here. So I'm happy to see that, and we'll keep working towards that. So each of these priorities map up to our shared vision, where we spend less time with wrangling data and more time with really using that data in a way that drives quality forward. I encourage you all to look at these future state priorities and everything that you hear in the data camp today and really see yourselves in our roadmap and in our vision. We also want your feedback and your ideas. We thrive on that. That's how we are able to produce quality work for you. And we're doing this to help our community and help our users. So please share your feedback. Please share your ideas. We can sometimes make those happen. Other times it gives us a path to try something new. I think that's my last slide, but before I pass it over to Miriam, I'll just thank you guys again for being here and for everything that you do. And it really helps us build a stronger community and a stronger data environment. So thank you. Look forward to hearing how everything goes over the next 2 days. Miriam, I'll pass it over to you.
Thank you, Katie. Yes, hello everyone. Good afternoon. Very similar to Katie, I've participated in past data camp events. This is, however, my first time presenting. So again, my name is Mary Mibara. I am the group product manager for the CDR team, specifically QDAS. And if you want Julie to go to the next slide, please. So I'll be covering some recent releases that we've had, basically between the last data camp and now, and then I'll also be going over some upcoming releases that we want to announce and make sure everybody can plan for. So recent features that we released, the first one being the portal data authorization. This is by having a centralized data authorization of the CDR. In the portal, we have automated provisioning data access and streamlining the process as a whole. It's allowing for quicker access. Also, as soon as the DUA is uploaded and processed, your access would show within the My Portal section, and just streamlining that process so it's a smoother interaction for the community. The next one is the Code Commons. This ties back to, as a whole, the SaaS migration effort. It is a centralized repository for code examples and notebooks. We're building on it more to allow for collaboration and knowledge sharing, like I said, of code examples and notebooks. Currently, what is available to the community is all the notebooks and code examples that have been used in past presentations. So very along with like the office hours that we're hosting for the SaaS migration effort. So that material is all out there in the Code Commons. If you haven't seen it yet, I recommend that you go check it out. It's a pretty cool tool that they implemented. The third one here, the SaaS to Pi tool and charm, this also ties to the SaaS migration effort. This tool helps make converting your code from SAS to Python easier. The SAS to Py team is doing a presentation later, so I don't want to steal their thunder, but that is also available on the authenticated side of Portal, just where you would click to see Databricks or SAS. It's with all your other tools. The next slide, please. Some more of our recent features that have been released is the CDR to IDR connection. This is allowing for the connection for Part C data, and instructions and details for how to obtain access for this connection is also available in the Code Commons tool. And then earlier in the year, we did the Databricks single user cluster. This is allowing for dedicated compute power for each user. It is eliminating the need for shared resources within your organization. So quicker run times, less waiting for larger jobs to run. As always, as we're pointing out here, just remember to use jobs clusters for more intensive jobs. And then the last one, oh, no, I think there's probably one more. We introduced some new data sets, specifically iKeys, MCBS survey, and cost supplements. That data is now available within the CDR. And then the next slide. This should be our last one, yes. So the most recent release we've had that just happened over the weekend is the Unity Catalog release. This was a big effort across all the teams on QDAS, and we are really proud of how the release went over the weekend. We have published comms out with some guidance on any issues that you might be seeing, but as a whole, the Unity Catalog will facilitate with providing a centralized data governance, fine-grained access control, and then end-to-end lineage tracking. And then I'll go into upcoming releases. So we have data sharing. This feature is being developed currently. It will replace the current manual process to share data across organizations. It will be a portal-based solution. You would be able to access it within the portal, and it's going to streamline how you can share data sets, workbenches, and schemas across your organization. Also helping with enhancing security and making sure everything is meeting compliance. And then the data catalog tool, the tool itself is called Data Hub, so you'll probably hear it as either Data Hub or Data Catalog. But it will improve the CDR experience and provide more accurate, up-to-date metadata within the system. So it will be replacing the Confluence page, and it'll be accessible through the portal as well. And then some new data sets that are being worked on and coming up are the NHSN, PICOS, and MBSF data sets. And I think that's all I've got. Oh, yep, sorry. Next slide, yes, the data sets portion. Thank you. Those are just the data sets that I covered. They were off on my slides, sorry.
That's okay, no worries. So at this point, I think we can go ahead and turn it over to questions that anyone may have for Katie or Miriam at this time. I haven't seen any in the chat yet, but please feel free to go ahead and put them there. We'll give it a couple more minutes. Oh, okay, one just came in. Will there be training for the new Unity catalog features?
Yeah, so we've published some articles in the portal around Unity Catalog, and more specifically, what type of changes you will be seeing. specifically around your tables and some changes that happened with the release. So that material is available out in the portal.
Okay, then our next question, do we need to update the DUA to get access to the new data sets?
Yes, yeah. So you'll need to get your DUA updated with the EPI code that ties back to the specific data set that you're wanting to get access to. And then your DUA owner would upload that to the portal, and the new access would be given once that's uploaded.
Thanks, Miriam. And then is the job computer cluster different than the personal compute cluster?
Yes, we do have some material also out on the portal around that for when we released the compute cluster and also some training. But yes, two different areas. Job clusters are going to be for bigger jobs, where personalized compute clusters are going to be at the individual level so that you can run smaller jobs and get your results back quicker.
Are there any plans to enable single node compute clusters?
Mm, I would need to check on this unless somebody from my team has the answer to this one, but I can check and get an answer back.
Okay. And then a response to one, but like a follow-up question. Are the EPI codes for upcoming data sources available?
For the upcoming, I don't know if they are in the EPI system yet as the organization that's bringing the data sets in. They would be working on getting the EPI code set up in the EPI system. When it is available for you to actually access that data set, we will post a communication out letting you know that it's available along with the details for that data set to help you update your DUA.
Okay. We'll give it another couple minutes to see if we get any other questions coming in because a lot of those came in really quickly. But so far, we're up to date. All questions that have come in so far, I believe we've answered. Oh, wait, I missed one. Did I ask this one yet? On the state level, many custom SAS queries are due to FOIA requests. How can we continue to do custom queries without access to Databricks?
Yes, so with the Unity catalog release that just happened over the weekend, this is to help facilitate and allow the state levels to start acquiring access to Databricks. There is a small implementation that needs to happen that the teams are working on currently. And then once that is in place, then an announcement will go out to the states to let them know how to access or how to request the Databricks role and then how to access it, along with all the training that is available for Databricks in the portal.
Okay, great. Thanks so much. And I'm just verifying. A follow-up to that question was when?
It's going to be roughly the timeline right now is with this planning period that we're in goes through July. So between now and July, just as the teams work it, and then when we do our validation to make sure everything is in place, then we'll send out the announcement that it's available, but it should be coming before the end of July.
Okay, thank you. Um, just give me another couple minutes. And verifying I've gotten all of these so far. Yeah, I think so. So far, all questions have been answered. Okay, we just got another one. Currently, I have access to. Oh gosh, sorry. It like scrolled because more people put in NHSN measurement data from an S3 workbench. How will this change when the data will be in the CDR?
Sorry, I was just rereading the question.
No, it's okay.
Yeah,
I
so
apologize if my break there made that even more confusing.
no, you're good. Yes, so you would access it just like you're doing any data that's in the CDR already, um, versus I'm assuming maybe you use UFM possibly. So you wouldn't have to use that UFM connection anymore. It would be within Databricks.
Okay, and then for FOIA requests, we need to download and send the data to them. How would that work once they want to stop the downloading of data?
Um, that should be UFM. I mean, we have mechanisms, we have tools that can work to send information back and forth securely. So I think we would have to work on that use case by use case, but we do have tools that support that.
Yeah, I would submit that use case to our request form, and we can work directly with you and the recipient of your data to see what the best transfer method would be. There are a number of options, but the ideal one would definitely not be downloading locally and sending unsecurely.
Okay, thank you so much. And then the last question is lengthy, that just came in. We understand the guidance encourages using job clusters for larger or resource intensive jobs. However, in our workflow, these larger jobs often require significant development and iteration before they're production ready. During this development phase, it's not feasible to run everything through job clusters, especially when debugging or testing interactively. Given this, is there flexibility in the guidance to allow the use of personalized interactive clusters during the development stage of larger jobs, with the understanding that the final production execution will move to a job cluster?
Yeah, I can take this one, Miriam. So essentially, the ideal scenario is that you use your interactive clusters for development work and testing, just like you identified there in your question. You would ideally use a subset of data in order to, you know, test your code out, and then when you reach the level of a production run, that's when you would use your jobs clusters. The idea is that you wouldn't use your interactive compute for a full run on the entire set of data that you're looking at, but just a subset. The reason for this is because the interactive clusters are at the low end 4 times more expensive than the jobs clusters and can get even more expensive. So the idea is that we want to, be as efficient as possible, both through, our analytic runs and through cost savings. And if you have any additional needs for whatever reason, your development requires additional resources, you could submit a request that outlines your business case, and we can work with you to see what we can do. But the way that they are configured currently is the most efficient in terms of compute cost.
Thanks, Mohammed. Okay. I think we're caught up right now. Um, we'll give it another minute or two, maybe until 1:30, to see if any others come in. Okay. We are just going to go ahead and give it one more minute. If you have any other questions, please feel free to put them in the chat before we wrap this session. And then as we're waiting, just an additional reminder for maybe anyone who joined late. These questions are being recorded for our team. And then we'll go back, get the answers, and then publish them all to the CCSQ DNA portal. That way, everyone has access to them and can review them. Just a reminder, though, to give us a few days to turn that around. Okay, so at this time, I'm not seeing any other questions. I think we're okay to go ahead and wrap up at this point. So just big thank you to Katie and Miriam, and then also Mohammed for weighing in and helping us answer those questions. So We are going to have a little bit more of a bit extensive break. And we're going to regroup at 2 o'clock. So this would be a great time for you to get some coffee, maybe a snack, and then join us back at 2 o'clock for our next session, which is going to be Introduction to the CCSQ Centralized Data Repository. And that's going to be with Dan. So we will see you soon. Thanks so much.